simple, moderate, extravagant looks all across, but the bathrooms are always bad. Always, almost always. Okay, so let me say that almost always in bad shape. Then there are those of us who make the attempts to, tidy up the bathroom and all of that. But then again, the thing just goes back. It's more like that's the factory setting. The bathroom always, the loo that is, always has to be in a bad shape. Now, for you, tell them that's how they used to do. Okay, but then again, it's charity, they say, begins at home. If we are going to leave the bathroom be and go to the next door or go to the next compound, or those of you who run to banks and eateries to use their bathrooms, it's because somebody is cleaning it. But I'm actually giving this analogy because it's been so many thoughts really looking at Nigeria. This is my home country. This is where I am resident. This is where I was born. Like I tell people, I didn't board bus to Nigeria. I didn't fly to Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria. And so many things really are happening. And these are the vast majority of the headlines you see, as much as beautiful things are happening in Nigeria. But we cannot ignore the bathroom, because someday, sometime, somehow, a guest is going to be needing to use it, and they get to see this thing. We will get to use it, and we will get to see the mess that we have made of our bathroom. That said, I think I can start accommodating felicitations. Thank you so sincerely for joining us. So if you don't understand what felicitation is, if you don't get it, is that what they say? Forget about it. Okay. Welcome on board a very brand new episode of The Bookshelf, beaming live from the studios of Western Spring Television. My name is Damilola Raphael, honored to be your teaching and learning advocate on The Bookshelf. The Bookshelf is a platform where we get to discuss with and discuss on issues bordering on learning. Somebody was saying something, and I wish I brought it up. I wish I brought the screenshot. The person was saying, so you find out that some people cannot even really communicate if you should take out pidgin English. And somebody responded that shows that you don't even know what communication is. As much as the other person understands and there is feedback and there is a back and forth, there is communication. English language is not the only means of communication. If you have been, that person just proved that they have not been following the bookshelf. I keep saying this social media thing, you just join your ignorance. There are different kinds of communication, but that's about that. I don't want to dwell on that. We have something very beautiful that we'll be discussing today, and that's on the focus for this new season that we are on the bookshelf, and talking about prioritize, taking what is important first, and of course the care of our eyes, making sure that we align, we organize, and then we take care of our eyes. This is the faculty that the vast majority of us use in appreciating the world around us. So it is time for us to wake up and talk about this thing, help us see how we can better, and see beyond us talking about it. If you don't do anything about it, there is only so much that we can do. It's one thing to take the horse to the stream. It's another thing for the horse to want to have a drink, as they say. So we have with us from Light Eye Care and Opticals, are doing justice to this topic since the beginning, as it were, since the beginning of the mandate for this new season. We have Dr. Blessed Omoha. Thank you so much, Dr. Blessed, for joining us in the studio.
Thank you very much for having me once more. It's a privilege to be here again. Okay,
so let me give you this. Just Dr. Bless has become a part of the family. Like, there's just this excitement. He's like the uncle you get to see once in a while that spoils you silly whenever he comes around. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of, okay, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. All of it that you are saying you're going to do something. I'm looking at you. Make sure you do something about it. Very, very important. Thank you so much, Dr. Bless, because it's a big sacrifice, really, combining this, with your regular schedule. Thank you for making this sacrifice. So we're going to be taking part 2 of eye conditions and disorders. I already talked about that, why we are using and not or. So get the previous one on YouTube. It's at Western Spring Television NG. You will see it right there, while we're using and instead of or. And of course, we got to talk about, basically based on WHO's findings, research and published, research being published some of the eye conditions and, all of that. We mentioned myopia at some point, presbyopia. You said some of these eye conditions can be diabetes induced and all of that. So let's just bring it home right now. There was this part you touched on, you just scratched the surface, talking about what, the role of the parents, of the teachers, of the caregiver, what they can do. In fact, I remember you said that you have also talked about that some of these teachers should actually get trainings.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, viewers. Okay. So, like she rightly said, I threw light and I advocated more on the importance of giving our teachers, the parents, let me say prior knowledge or little training in order to discover or find out that that a child has issue with the eyes. Okay, so like last time I talked about a lot of things, but the major thing there is for us to have an idea of what to expect and for things that we are supposed to look out for when we are dealing with our eyes. There are many eye disorders. Okay, so I think let me like do a little bit recap for those people who are just joining us for today. Okay, I talked about eye disorders, and I said that they can be basically divided into two. We talk about the refractive errors, those ones that has to do with glasses, those kind of eye issues that glasses can fix, and then the other ones that can only that can be fixed, or let me say treated, because they are diseases. They say they are pathologies. Okay, so I try to define it. I brought it down to World Health Organization because they talked about prevalence of eye issues and some eye issues that should be handled. That can be, let's say, those ones that can be preventable. Okay. But there are other ones that we can work on, or we can like talk about, or I can throw more light on so that people will understand that these are issues that are creeping in day by day. Okay, I mentioned the World Health Organization talked about refractive error as the #1 issue, and then #2 we talked about cataract, #3 glaucoma, and #4 diabetic retinopathy, and then #6 I think trachoma and some other things. Okay, they're up to 7, but these ones are the major ones that are more easy to or common. Yeah, so today I think I will talk about different eye issues, okay, that everybody should know about and the way you can handle it, more especially throwing more light on self-medication, because that's the thing that we are fighting today. I believe that many people, most times, the cases that we see every day, people who come and say their eyes, they have something giving them issues, and sometimes those things have become worse than they are supposed to be. And then if you ask them, they say that, yes, they went to one chemist and they got an eye drop, and they say they just got a common eye drop that everybody uses. That's what they will tell you. And after a while, notice that the thing became, that thing has become worse. Okay, so I'm talking about this. Okay, I want to educate our viewers out there, okay, on these eye issues. There are different classes. Reason why I'm trying to break it down this way is so that they will understand that not all eye issue is the same. Not all. Not all are the same. Okay. So let's first of all, I will talk about the ones that we call infective eye issues.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the ones you can call those issues, or let me say those problems. These problems I'm mentioning now are pathological, most of them. Okay. We talk about infective eye issues. Those are the ones that can be caused by viruses and bacteria, fungals and parasites. Okay, these are different things that the so-called common eye drops that people go to buy from the chemist cannot help. That's why you need a professional. Okay, so, and it's true that many people that claim to be professional are not licensed, are not well trained. Okay, some cases we do see people that come, they bring some eye drops. You notice that they have taken some particular eye drop, they have removed the label and put in their own. We have many people that say that they are doctors. Yes. Okay. And people believe that because the truth is this: some eye issues that we are facing can resolve on its own, but many of them cannot resolve on their own. Especially if you add in something that is not supposed to be used, you can make it worse. Okay. So number 2, I will go down to the ones that we call inflammatory eye diseases. Okay. These ones are the ones that are caused by inflammation. For example, we have ones that we can call keratitis, conjunctivitis. The conjunctivitis, the general Apollo that we have. Okay, we have uveitis. These conditions can be sight-threatening.
Sorry, please, Dr. Blessed. Now, you heard that the general Apollo, conjunctivitis, Apollo, say conjunctivitis, say con. You know, like you have part of speech, right? Conjunction. So, just change the shun to tivitis.
All right, so that conjunctivitis that we call generally Apollo, okay? You can relate it to the one I talked about before. That's an infective eye disease. Why we call it infection is that it can be transmitted. Okay, so fungal bacteria or viruses can cause those inflammations.
And it's looking like this is the season. It's beginning to rain, right?
Yes. There's ones that we can face. Okay, this period. All right, so. We have those inflammations that can be caused by those infections, infective bacteria or viruses, okay, and the other ones, okay. Then we also have the one we call congenital. Those ones are the ones that come from when somebody was born, children that were born that way. We can have congenital cataract. We have congenital glaucoma. Okay, and some even the one we call retinopathy of prematurity. Most times, some children they were born when the term is not due. So many of them were placed in incubators. Okay, there are some retinopathies that come from that condition. Okay, so these ones we classify to congenital problems. The other ones, okay, and then we also have degenerative conditions. Okay, these ones that's where you talk about cataract, you talk about glaucoma, okay, and some other ones, okay. So then we can go come down to retinal issues, okay. These ones now we come down to age-related macular degeneration, okay. Some issues with the retina. We can some retinopathies, okay. So we can also come down also another one. We talk about systemic issues, those eye conditions that were pushed because of the problems with our system. That's where diabetic retinopathy, hypertensive retinopathy comes in. Then we also have ones that can be caused by trauma or accidents. Okay, that's where chemical injuries come from. Okay, blunt trauma injuries. Okay, so reason why I've classified all these into these groups, okay, is because I want our viewers at home to know that not every eye drop is suitable for different conditions.
Every condition.
Yes. Okay. So we should be very careful on the things that we put into our eyes. It's true that the world is evolving and there are many things that we are doing. Many things are coming up, okay, and there are many breakthroughs we are having. But when it comes to the eye, many things have not been achieved. Okay, most things that affect our eyes are irreversible. Okay, some of them can be managed to at a point or to an extent, but many of them are irreversible. Okay, so now let's talk about these issues that people go to get medications themselves.
Okay, Dr. Blessed will be coming back to tell us about going to get medications yourself, self-medication. And of course, I also have, in fact, there is a particular burning question, and I'm confident that the person, most recent person who this is affecting is just watching as we speak. Very, very quick break we are going to be doing. It's a very, very quick breezer. The bookshelf will continue on the other side of it, talking about self-medication and, of course, my burning questions.
artist, playwright, and icon of Yoruba thematic arts. Duro Ladipo was born December 18, 1931 in Osogbo, southwest Nigeria. His clergyman father christened him Timothy. His other names, Duro Dola, Duro Shomo, Duro Rike, reflected his persona and the circumstances that surrounded his birth. The legendary stage actor had in several public fora identified himself as one of the greatest abikus born to die in this world. Family records reveal how he was born and died 13 times. The intertwining names he bore thus lent credence to his spiritism. Duro Ladipo was one of the best known and world-acclaimed Yoruba dramatists to emerge from post-colonial Africa. His notable works Obakoso, Obawaja and Moremi took him beyond Africa to several parts of the world. By the time Duro Ladipo died on 11 March 1978, the Nigeria's first cultural ambassador had acquired a towering image as an artist whose works adorned the frontage of Trenchard Hall, University of Ibadan. Western Spring Television identifies Duro Ladipo as a major character in history.
Welcome back. It's still the bookshelf beaming live from the studios of Western Spring Television, and we are on the second half, the last leg as it is on the broadcast. Today we are looking at another part. We did the first part one, and today we are continuing right there. Hopefully we'll be able to wrap it up talking about eye conditions and disorders. Now, before we left off for the break, I said I have a burning question. I told you, drop your questions. That's my question. I didn't see the one that you think I wanted to ask, as it is. But then again, Dr. Blessed Almuha is still with us from Light Eye Care and Opticals, and he was going to be talking about self-medication before we went on that break. We'll let him continue from there.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, back to what we're talking about, self-medication. All right, many people have lost their sight, okay, because of the things they have taken or the things they have put into their eyes, and because of the fact that there are many people who are not licensed, okay, or who are not qualified, okay, to handle some issues. That's why the health professionals or the eye care professionals are there, okay. For example, there are some cases that we can call fungal, especially fungal. Okay. I don't know if you have seen people that you notice that their eyes, okay, the dark part that you normally see, it is whitish, it has turned white, and they can't see. Okay, these are fungal, and that's one of the most dangerous kind of keratitis, or that can lead to corneal ulcer. Okay, so sometimes when they have gotten something, for example, something flew into somebody's eyes, okay, and they feel that something is there, so they try scratching it. Okay, most times when you try to scratch or move your eyes, okay, you have moved that particle around your eyes, and if it is fungal or bacterial or anything, that has spread across your eyes, and it could start attacking your cells there. Okay, so what some people do is they will rush and meet some people that are not qualified, and some things that they put into their eyes. For example, some people put breast milk into their eyes. Some people go as far as putting urine into their eyes because they hear that it's making the eyes better. Yeah. But those things makes your eye predisposed to serious infections. Some people will go as far as going to get some leaf or something and put into their eyes. And if it's a fungal infection, that attack or that infection will get worse. And before you could know what to do or anything, that eye is already gone. Okay, that's why everybody should be very careful things that they put into their eyes. When you have any issue, go to an eye clinic or go to a medical professional trained to handle issues with the eye, and seek for their consult or consultant.
Doctor, please let me come in here. This breast milk of a thing, urine, I've heard a lot about it. I'm a mother, and you know, your maybe the baby, I don't know how true these things are. I said, oh, it's because the baby was laying on a place where the baby is not unique, as it were, to the baby. Like the baby is not the only person who occupies that particular space. That's why you should always spread clothes for the babies. And then they tell you to, you know, maybe the baby has you know, the eye is not opening well, and then there's just this mucus, yes, okay, on the eye, and then they're told to put, I have seen parents, they're told to put breast milk in the baby's eyes.
Okay.
So,
okay, let me come in, okay? Like I mentioned before,
yes, sir,
right, that some of this eye issue can resolve on their own if left. Okay.
Okay.
And then I said that if you are putting in those milk or all those things, urine into your eyes, it gets you predisposed to making the infection or anything there, making it worse. All right. So if you notice, milk is an organic something.
Okay.
If you notice, some things when you ferment it, it could cause, like for example, when they are doing yogurt, you ferment it and yeast is introduced. You know, those kind of things. You notice that those are organic something, and then some things work on them. If you put them into your eyes, okay, there could be microorganisms there. For example, if those microorganisms that grow, okay, in that kind of environment, they will feed on that milk, and then your body will not be able to handle it. If you're having mucus discharge, it means that there is an infection. Probably it could be something that antibiotics can handle.
Okay.
So and mentioning antibiotics, okay? Not every antibiotic is suited for a particular mucus discharge. Okay, so people will not quote me wrong because I said antibiotics.
Something's coming out of my eyes, Dr.
Yes.
Blessed.
So they are different. So that sometimes a swab can be taken to the lab to determine, a culture will be done to determine what a kind of the kind of drug that will be suitable to kill it off. Okay. Putting milk there can make it worse. That it made it better did not mean that it's that milk that caused it. You might make things worse by doing that.
Okay, so let me ask you my question now, Dr. Bless.
Explain some things about refractive errors. Okay, when you are not seeing very well, okay, well, especially if those people who have astigmatism, okay, they cannot see far, they cannot see near. When they are trying to struggle or to see something, they try to squint. And then there are nerves around and muscles around there that you are stressing. That could, all of them are all connected around to your brain. Okay, that's where those headaches start occurring. If you don't handle those refractive error by getting the necessary glasses, okay, or seeking the necessary help, it could be worse. Okay, no matter the the painkillers you take, after a while, after they have worn off, the headache will come back, and it might come back stronger. And the more you are stressing your eyes and you are still going through the same thing day by day, more damages could occur. You could have, for example, those people who are short-sighted, I call myopia. Those people who are myopic, okay, those people are more likely to have something we call retinal detachment, okay, which is very, very bad. They can also be predisposed to something we call amblyopia. Okay. These are cases that glasses cannot help you again.
Okay, now, oh my goodness, this is getting deeper, and we could just keep talking about this. But you know what? The best place to not just talk about it, but actually find solution will be Light Eye Care and Opticals. Where can you be reached? Okay,
we are found at number 4, Alafia Street, Ibono. Okay, so you can also look for other places that have licensed doctors who can handle your issue, okay? But if you can't find, we are located at number 4, Ibono, Alafia Street, Ibono.
Ibono, Oshogbo, Osun State.
Right.
Sincere appreciation to Dr. Blessing Muha. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
Again, and we look forward to having you again, maybe talking about something else and not, not conditions and... Okay, so and disorders. Thank you so sincerely, dear viewer, for following through. It's going to be bigger the next time we're going to be returning. Remember to prioritize. Put the first things first, all right? And then, of course, please do well to take care of your eyes. My name is Damilola Raphael, your teaching and learning host. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye and God bless.